Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicola and today I'm gonna take you through a full flow focusing on fun and joy. So fun and creativity is connected with the sacral chakra, so we will do definitely a few hip openers, but also joy is connected to our heart, to the heart chakra, so you can expect some backbends as well. Please do have a strap at hand. If you don't have one, don't worry, just grab some scarf or anything that you can use instead. Hello. We will just need it in the beginning of the practice, and you might have a block as well at hand. You maybe won't need it, but just in case. So we will start with a short seated meditation. You can bring your hands onto your knees and start gently closing your eyes. If anytime during the practice you feel tired or you feel like you need a rest, that's okay. Just come into child's pose for a few breaths and find your focus on your breath again. Start taking deep breaths in and out through your nose. And today we will try to put all the worries aside and just focus on fun and joy. Who cares if you fall out of some pose or if some pose is not perfect? That's not what we are trying to do here. Today, instead of worries, we choose happiness. You can come back to this affirmation anytime during the practice. Today, I choose happiness. Few more breaths here, just observing our breath, not forcing it into some pattern. Simply notice how you feel today, how you breathe today. Come to lie down on your backs. You can keep your eyes closed if you feel comfortable. And we will come into Supta Kapotasana, reclined pigeon. So you can cross your right ankle over your left knee and bring the left knee closer to your chest. Flex your right foot and the tailbone stays on the mat as much as possible. Starting to stretch into our hips, our glutes. Definitely not our last pigeon today. Release and switch sides. So now the left ankle goes over the right knee and bring the right knee closer to your chest. Flex your right foot and the tailbone stays on the mat as much as possible. Starting to stretch into our hips, our glutes. Definitely not our last pigeon today. Definitely not our last pigeon today. So now the left ankle goes over the right knee and bring the right knee closer to your chest. Release and switch sides. So now the left ankle goes over the right knee Your upper body remains relaxed on the mat. A little bit of arm strength is required, but not much. Release both feet onto the mat. Straighten your left leg and bring the right knee closer to your chest. Flex your left foot, so imagine you are pressing against an imaginary wall there. So there is a little bit of traction, while the right leg remains fairly relaxed. Let's switch sides. Now bring the right leg also closer to your chest, and you can stay here with your knees wide open, or you can grab your toes with the two-piece fingers and open for a happy baby. Use your elbows to open the knees even more. So we are trying to press the knees open and at the same time trying to bring them closer to the ground. Notice how you feel in this pose. Maybe you can rock a little bit from side to side, like a baby. Observe if there is any stiffness, maybe in the spine, the lower back, the hips. Release and reach out for your strap. You can keep your left leg bent with the foot on the mat, and we will raise our right leg up and straighten any amount that is accessible. You can definitely keep a bend in the knee, and then place the strap around the foot for our hamstring stretch. So maybe you can hold the strap or belt, scarf, whatever you have at hand, up here, or you can hold it also lower down, and then you have some support for your arms, so maybe they don't need to work so much when you have them lower down. If you want to intensify the stretch, you can straighten the left leg, but today I will just stay here with the knee bent. It's enough for me today. And just every day is also different. One day you might feel like you want to do something more intense, and then there are days that you feel like you don't want to go so deep. Just follow your intuition and do whatever feels right in the moment. Now place the strap fully into your right hand and open the leg to the side. Maybe your leg will reach to the ground, maybe not. That's okay. just till both shoulder blades are on the ground, so you are not raising your left shoulder. And try to bring the right leg closer to the ground, but also a little bit closer to your right shoulder. You should feel a nice deep stretch into the back side of the leg. Bring the leg back up and release the strap. Let's do the same on the other side. So now the left leg rises. Place the strap around the foot. Find your hold wherever it's the most comfortable. And try bringing the left leg closer to your chest. The foot is flexed. And just keep remembering to release the upper body, because in poses like that we need to use some arm strength, then we really maybe tend to tense up through the neck, through the shoulders. So keep reminding you to release. Now place the strap into the left hand and we will open to the side. Come back to center, and you can release. We won't be needing the strap anymore, so you can just place it somewhere aside. And find your way into the tabletop position on hands and knees. The hands are directly under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, and we will start with a few rounds of cat and cow. So take a deep inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round, and push into the mat. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round, and contract. Few more like this, just follow your own breath. Maybe it will be faster, maybe slower than me. Last one. Come back to neutral, bring the hands a bit further, and we will find our way into our first downward facing dog. So the feet are about hip-width distance apart. Keep pressing the heels down to the mat. You can bend your knees. Stretch out long through your spine. The fingertips are open wide. Maybe any little movements that feel good here. You can paddle the feet. Maybe a few nods with your head. Raise your right leg up, open the knee. Straighten the leg and bring it in between the hands for warrior two. So the back foot spins to be parallel with the shoulder edge of the mat, and there is a generous bend in the front knee. Keep pressing the front knee open so you are not collapsing. And the arms are nice and long, engaged. Bring your arms in front of you and start bringing them into the eagle shape, so maybe you can wrap them just once or twice, whatever is accessible. And on the inhale, look up, a little back bend, and exhale, we will fall down for humble warrior with eagle arms. Keep pressing the hands against each other. Unwrap the hands, place your left hand onto the mat and come into easy twist. So the right arm goes up to the sky. Side plank, so bring the right foot to meet your left foot, staying on the edge of the left foot. Place your right hand onto the mat. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And back to our down dog. Left leg goes up, bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg and come into warrior two again. Find your balance, your strength. And again, humble warrior with the eagle arm. So now you are wrapping the left arm under the right one. Bring the hands up, open the chest, and then start lowering down. Right hand goes onto the mat, opening for easy twist. And a bit of challenge, side plank. Both hands onto the mat, chaturanga, or maybe lower on your knees. Upward facing dog. Down dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Bend the knees generously and come all the way up. Raise your arms up. And bring your hands to the front of the heart. Raise your arms up, little back bend. Fall down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Bend your knees and come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Sun salutation once more. Inhale, rise the arms up, and exhale, fold down. Halfway lift, flat back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths in here. Today, I choose happiness. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Round through your spine and come all the way up to stand in mountain pose. So the feet are about hip-width distance apart. Shine your palms forward. A little bend in the knees. Maybe close your eyes. And focus on your weight through your feet. Notice whether it's evenly distributed through all corners of the feet. Now bring your weight to the toes, back to center, to your heels, center to the right, center to the left, and now try to find really the center point where you are fully grounded. Bring your hands in front of the heart, and we will do pigeon just standing this time. So the same as we did when we were lying down. So you can cross your right foot against the left knee, and then try to come lower with your hips, bringing your hips closer to the mat. And maybe you can also place your fingertips to the ground if it's accessible. Come back up, release, and we will switch sides. Left foot over the right knee, and start lowering down. Find your point of focus. We're just looking at one point. Lower down, and maybe bring the fingertips down to the ground or stay higher up. Maybe also a block can come in handy here for support. And release the legs. Shake them out, and we will take our flow. So rise the arms up. Exhale, fall down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg goes up and bring it in between the hands for high lunge. So the back foot is off the mat. Raise your arms up. Everything is facing forward. Bring your hands in front of the heart and we will come into a twist. So you can place your left elbow onto the right knee and twist to the side. Look over your right shoulder. If it's too much for your neck, you can just look to the side. Bring the hands back to center, to your heart. Coming into warrior 3, you can bring the back foot a bit further, a bit to the front so you have more support. And once you find, again, your balance, start bringing the left leg up. So at maximum it should be parallel to the ground, so you don't want to overdo it. And also the back is parallel to the ground. Hanging there. Release. We are back in front of the mat, coming into full eagle pose, so both legs and arms. So first we will wrap the right thigh over the left one, bending into the left knee. And you can stay here, or maybe you can also wrap your ankle, your foot around the calf. Once you find your legs, you can also wrap the right arm around the left one. You can gaze through your arms to find a balance and keep pressing the hands together and keep also pressing the shoulders down away from the ears. Come closer to the mat with your hips. And release both hands and knees. And take your flow. Arms go up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale to come down into chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then we will repeat this sequence on the other side. So the left leg goes up and bring it to the front of the mat for high lunge. Hands in front of the heart, come into the twist. Back to center. Bring the back foot a bit closer, coming into warrior 3. You can choose the arm variation. Maybe if you want, you can extend the arms forward or back like a little airplane. And release. Eagle pose on the other side. So now wrapping the left thigh over the right one. Bend the right knee And maybe you can also wrap your toes around the calf. Or not, you can also stay up here. Maybe you can use the toes to go onto the mat and just stay here. Find your own pose. And then, if you want, you can also add the arms. Raise the elbows higher, shoulders down. And release, shake it out. And take your flow. Inhale, arms up, little back bend. And exhale, fall down. Halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Upward facing dog. And we will all meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now let's go deeper into the hips, so you can raise your right leg up and bring the right knee behind the right wrist for pigeon pose. So extend your back leg behind you. This is where the block can come in really handy. Maybe you can place it under your right hip if you are too far from the mat. Or you can place it in front of you. And once you find your center point, you can start lowering down. Maybe the block goes under the chest or under your forehead, your arms. Really take the time. We will stay here for 10 breaths. So you want to make it as comfortable as possible. Slowly come back up. Place the block aside if you have been using it. Straighten the back leg, the right leg. Maybe you can stretch it out. Do a few hip circles to wake it up again. And now lower all the way onto your belly, coming into 3 baby cobras. So take an inhale and raise the upper body up. And exhale, lower. Inhale, come up. Lower down. Inhale. Lower. Now you can choose the variation. Maybe you can come into locust pose. So you are just raising your upper body and your lower body together. Or you can grab your feet with your hands, coming into bow pose. So both the upper body, the lower body are off the mat and you are looking forward. Deep back bend. Press the feet into the hands. And release. Pause here for a second. and coming back up into our downward facing dog. Left leg goes up, left knee behind the left wrist, straighten the right leg. Make sure you are not leaning on one side more than the other. So first check that you are really in the middle. And when you have this equal pose, you can start going down again, or maybe staying just up if this is already enough of a sensation for you. Or you can start lowering all the way down, maybe with the use of block. 10 breaths here. Come back up, place the block aside, stretch the left leg, maybe again some hip circles. And we will repeat the same, so you can lower onto your belly for baby cobra. So the arms go into the cactus shape. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And you can come again into bow pose, or just cobra, or locust, whatever variation you prefer. Release, press back into the hands, coming into child pose. So the legs are about hip-width distance apart, and you can just rest your shoulders over your knees and the forehead goes to the mat. Just few breaths here to relax the spine and to find steady, stable breath again. Okay, I hope you got it. So we can come back to downward facing dog. Raise the right leg up, bring it in between the hands for warrior two. Maybe think of how you can bring more fun just into your daily life. When and where can you be less serious and more playful? Reverse the warrior. Back to center, straighten the front leg. Triangle pose, you can hinge forward and then lower the right hand down. The left arm goes up, facing the ceiling, the sky. Come back to center. Warrior two again. Bring your hands to the front of the heart. Come back with both feet to the front of the mat. Keep the knees bent for chair pose. You can stay here or come into the twist. So the left elbow goes around the right knee, looking to the right, over the right shoulder. Just check on your knees and make sure that the left didn't go further than the right. Back to chair pose. Maybe lower the hips even more. And release. Rise the arms up, look up. Inhale. And exhale, lower down. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And we will meet in downward facing dog. This time left leg goes up for warrior two. Reverse. Back to center, straighten the front leg for triangle. Come to the front of the mat. Both feet are together. The toes touch, the heels are slightly apart. Generous bend in the knees. The hands go in front of the heart, chair pose. With a twist maybe. Back to center. Lower your hips even more. Feel the burn. And release. Take your flow. We will meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk your feet to the front of the mat and come all the way up. Our last standing pose. Find your balance on the left foot and bring the weight on the left side of the body. And you can grab your right foot with your right hand and start hinging forward with your upper body. Extend the left arm in front of you, coming into dancer's pose. So the back foot pushes against the hand. Release. And we will do the same on the other side. So now bring the weight onto the right foot. Grab your left foot with your left hand. Focus on one spot. Once you think you've got it, start bringing the foot back and the upper body closer to the ground. And release. Our last flow, so take a deep breath in. Exhale, fall down. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Inhale. And exhale. Last deep stretch here. Stretch it out. Maybe the heels are a bit closer to the mat this time. Maybe there is more space in the upper body. And you can lower your knees onto the mat. Come into the seated position. So you can keep the left knee bent. And the right knee goes over the left one for shoelace pose or cow face pose. So the knees are stacked more or less above each other, and make sure that both of the sit bones are on the mat. So maybe you will need to widen your feet to the sides. And stay here if this is already enough. It's really intense pose, so also for me it's one of the hardest ones. Or you can use the block if you have it to bring it forward. Or if you are okay with the pose, you can also just fall down completely onto the mat. I'm just gonna stay on the block here. 10 deep breaths in here. When it gets hard, try to really focus on the inhale and deep exhale. They can really help in a challenging pose like this. Slowly come back up if you were folded down. And we will switch legs, so you can release the knees. Now the right knee goes down and the left goes over the right one. So again, take some time to adjust in the pose. Maybe staying here. Also, one side can be definitely more stiff than the other, so don't try to do exactly the same as you did on the previous side. Just meet your body where it is at, and then once you find your point, you can also start folding down. 10 breaths again. Start releasing any tension that might be still left in your body. Maybe some of the poses didn't end up exactly as you wished they would. Maybe you fell out of some, but really it doesn't matter, it couldn't matter less. We just wanted to make some fun and enjoy ourselves. And making fun of ourselves, I think, is a big part of taking things easy, not being offended easily. Slowly come back up from the pose. You can place the block aside, we won't be needing it anymore. And just to release the hips, you can bring your knees from side to side to the ground. And come to lie down on your backs. Coming into happy baby. So try to remember how you felt in the beginning of the practice when we did this pose, and see how it feels now. Maybe not only physically, that there is more space, but also emotionally. Maybe you are not so hard on yourself now. Maybe you are okay with how the pose looks like for you. Or maybe now you are just enjoying your breath, coming back to its usual rhythm. Being at ease. Bring the feet back to the mat, both knees are bent. Bring the hips to the right, and you can drop the knees to the side for spinal twist. You can also look to the right and extend your right arm to the side. Make sure that both shoulder blades are staying on the mat. The movement should be really just from the low back, maybe the mid back. Bring the knees back to center, move the hips to the left, and drop the knees to the right. Bring the knees back. And before we come into Shavasana, you can do any little movements that you still need to. If there is any pose that you would like to do now, please do so. Just follow your intuition and what feels good to you. And once you are ready, you can find your way into Shavasana. So the whole body is melting into the mat. Come back to your natural breath. Nothing is forced. Today, I choose happiness. Start to bring any little movements into your hands and feet. Slowly wake back up. Stretch out long. Then roll onto one side and find your way back to the seated position. Keep your eyes closed. The hands meet in Anjali Mudra. Notice how you feel, how your body feels in different parts of the body, the lower body, the back, the chest. And last but not least, your mind. And we will finish with a big breath out of the mouth together. So you can take a deep breath in. Namaste. So I hope you really enjoyed this practice. I know some of the poses were maybe a little bit more challenging and could could feel a bit more wobbly, not so stable. That was the fun in it, I guess. So let me know in the comments what you like the most, and I hope I will see you again practicing with me really soon. Have a great day. Bye.